We talk about leadership all of the time, and when you think about linking leadership to livelihood, it really makes me kind of step back and say, oh, wait, now this is something a little different. But in fact, in many ways, it's what leadership is all about, which is creating growth and livelihood. And we know that action in all cases is not really what you want to do, because action without the organization, without the leadership, whether it be at a country level, a state level, or a company level, may actually be destructive. So when you think about leadership and livelihood put together, it really is that sense of obligation that leaders must have, and skill and capabilities that leaders must have in bringing forward how do you create the appropriate growth? How do you keep all of the sustainability as well as the global economy and the state and country and company all in mind? That's what leadership and livelihood is all about. And when I think about the Indian World Economic Forum Summit, I really think about the importance of linking those two together and driving it all the way through the themes that we do each and every day at the conference. Workforce development and job training, regardless of where it is really the topic of the day. When we look at the skills mismatch, the challenges of talent, and the globalness of talent, it's almost incomprehensible about how do you go after this and solve this. When you narrow it down to India, it even becomes more of a challenge. And what I mean by that is India has been considered now for a good decade of a place that is a great wealth of talent and people who are willing to work hard and challenge themselves. Well, now after 10 years, much of that talent is used up. And the world is now saying, what's next? Where do we go with this great population, with the education system and the training system? So when we look at and bringing all of that together and what it means to India, it really is about what is the economic growth possibilities for the next 10 years when you link it with what is the education level and the training level and the possibilities of those trainings. When you look at a country the size of India and how it's made up with states and of course federal, it really is something that should and can be used to the advantage from a global perspective of attracting businesses, when in fact currently sometimes it's considered a negative. The inability to solve the problem, to work with a government on a national level as well as on a state level. So it's something that has to be worked out very diligently to ensure that the challenges and the differences, which are very legitimate across the East, the West, North, South, are really understood by those wanting to do foreign direct investment. For those companies and governments working with India to be able to say, I understand this and this is how it works, and as a result, I'm going to be able to put my facility or my work into that kind of environment. So that ability of the states and federal, national working together a bit more cohesively is critical for the next 10 years within India.